Welcome to the Incy alphabet, bite-sized lettering tutorials for your busy life. It's time for day 3 of the letter H. Today we're going to start to really finalize this letter. So you're going to want to pick 2 colors and make sure that they are somewhat different. We want to use a bright bold color for the main H and then a more subtle one for the shadow in behind. We're doing that so that we can ensure that the H really pops out and that the shadow is more of an embellishment than a detraction from the focus being on the letter. Once you've chosen your 2 colors, you want to draw in your first H, but we want to make it a little bit thicker than what we have here. So with some pressure, draw down your letter. Using just that pressure itself will allow you to get a thicker line without having to draw over it multiple times to get thickness. So 1, now if it's hard for you to draw across the page, you can always turn your page with that same pressure. Oh, and I've definitely put more pressure there. So you want to try to keep all of your lines consistent. I'm going to have to go back and redo that first one, which is no problem. It's totally okay to go back and re-ink your lines. You also want to get nice, crisp, clean tops and bottoms to your lines. So go in and draw those out with definition at the top and the bottom. That probably means you'll have to go and draw a straight line across the bottom and a straight line across the top. You also just want to double check that they're still about the same height. I'm noticing that this one is higher on the left-hand side, so you can add a little bit more height to the right-hand side, top or bottom, as needed to ensure that it is all the same. Once you have your letter fully drawn in, now we're going to go in and start working on the shadow. You have 3 shadow portions. This portion here, and then this portion right there. You'll see that the way that we drew it with those guidelines, we ended up with an already preset angle from line to line, and that's what we're going to follow for our shadow. You also will have that same angle right in here in that corner section. Let's draw out all of these outer edges and this corner angle first. This helps to give us a guideline for the angles of the lines we're going to do within the shadow. Because one option would be just to color that whole shadow in, but we're going to do it a little differently where we're going to do like a floating line shadow. You can continue to do this angle all the way down if you are comfortable drawing that angle. Otherwise, turn your page so that the line is pointing towards your belly button, and then you're going to go all the way down, filling in from line to line with the same angle all the way from the top to the bottom. One trick that I like to do, because guidelines are so helpful, is to look at this angle and then draw that same angle a few places throughout the line. That will help to give you more frequent guidelines to refer to. So you want to try to keep the angle pretty consistent, drawing in towards your belly button. Once you have those guidelines, then you can go in fill in between. Now, the problem with putting in those guidelines is that sometimes it won't space nicely. So do pay attention as you're drawing them out to ensure that you have enough space in between each of the lines that you're doing so that you don't have 2 lines that are too close together. See, like those ones are getting a little bit close, but it's still okay. I wasn't paying attention enough to spacing there. So just make sure that that's something that you're always keeping in mind. Do you want to put 1 extra line or do you want to take a line away? When you look at it overall, you'll probably notice that there are more lines in this section than there were over here. A lot of that is because of the guideline usage, but that's not actually something that your viewer is going to focus on too much, I wouldn't think. Instead, they're going to see an H with this floating line behind. This is also a really great technique if you're just using black pen. Having this little space in between before your floating line can make it look so impactful. So try even doing this just with black as well. It's always nice to have some variety for the things you can create. Don't forget to share what you've created with the hashtag incyalphabet. That way it will motivate you not only to continue creating, but also motivate the rest of us as well.